Mother! Seneca! I'm back! Come on, you guys, it's cold out here. Wow. No. If we're all stoned, we won't be able to find the restaurant. Mother? I'm home and I'm starving. Seneca? Nobody's home. Hello, is Dr. Bolak there? I know he's probably off duty, but thank you.
Dr. Bolak?
Oh, hi, it's Kim.
Oh, hi. Hey, I'm sorry about dinner. I got a call right after you left. How was the audition?
Good. Says I'm a finalist. Where did Mother go?
I don't know. I left her munching on your brownies, which were terrific, by the same. She probably went to the store or something like that.
Seneca, how many brownies did you eat?
Ah, I cannot tell a lie. I only had time for one bite. But it's enough.
I just came home, and the front door's open, and the balcony doors are open, and Mother's purse is here with all her money in it, and she's gone. I'm scared.
I see. Yeah, well, look, there's no reason for you to be there alone. Leave a note that you're at the hospital with me, and then come on over. Ray will probably call you here. If she doesn't, then I'll take you home as soon as I'm free, and we'll find her. Will you do that?
Okay. But what if something's happened?
Hey. I'm sure that everything's okay. I'll see you in 15 minutes. Goodbye. Dr. Bolak.
Dr. Bolak, that ER call I got is an accident case. It's Ray Woodard. Now, they've done a workup in x-rays. It's a concussion with a hairline fracture, perforated dura. Also, there's a malalignment in the cervical
Now, listen,
vertebra.
get her up here as soon as you can.
Sure, yeah.
Adam,
Yeah.
what kind of an accident?
She got hit by a car. The driver said she walked right in front of the moving traffic. Look, are you going to call Kim?
No, Kim's already on her way.
Just right. Except for maybe the length.
Well, what do you think? An inch or two?
Ah, I think so, just so I don't trip.
Oh, and up you go. All right.
Do you mind that I went out and found this by myself?
Oh, of course not. I mean, Lordy, if I'd gone with you, you'd probably still be looking.
You mean it's okay that I'm not wearing your wedding dress?
Oh, of course, darling. This is exactly the right dress for you. Besides which, It took me weeks to remodel mine for Mary. And we don't have weeks.
No, we don't have any time at all. You're sad, aren't you?
No. Well, maybe a little. I mean, after all, the last chick to leave the nest. And, of course, your brother and sister. Though Patrick did say that he might be able to make it up here for a few hours.
Well, I told him not to worry about it. I mean, it seems ridiculous for him to come all the way up from San Antonio just to see the ceremony and drink a glass of champagne. I wish you were available. Wish Cass were, too. But I can't very well ask her to call off 5 days in Paris if she's been planning it for a year. And Patrick shouldn't miss working with that specialist, I guess. Those are once-in-a-lifetime opportunities.
Isn't a wedding.
Oh, Mother, you know what I mean. Want me to postpone it? No. You haven't said a thing. I would have to be deaf and blind not to get the signals.
What signals? I mean, am I not on my knees pinning up your wedding gown? And didn't we just speak to Father McShane?
And you're bending over backwards.
Just to be ready on time.
No, just to keep still. What you're not saying is coming through loud and clear. Look, Mother, it's not as though I can't hear anything negative. I mean, you don't come on like Daddy. You wouldn't drive me out of the house.
But I'm not asking you to change the wedding date and put it back a week or two. I mean, but it's just that it's all happened so quickly. I mean, you know Joe only since July. I mean, the two of you have known each other 4 months.
And 2 weeks and 3 days.
Yes. And for all that time, you've been... Well, I don't want this to sound like an accusation, but you've made no effort to hide the fact that you've been staying with him overnight.
We've been lovers for 3 months. Mother, look, can't you see that for me, physical closeness is part of knowing him? Part of finding out what kind of man he is, and above all, how much I trust him. Without that, I probably wouldn't be so sure about marrying him.
Well, in a way, that is the point I'm making, dear.
What?
If you had remained just friends, not platonic, mind you, but certainly not lovers, well, your eyes would be open. Well, more open than they are. And perhaps you would be still planning this wedding, but...
But in June, like all the other good girls. Oh. I'm sorry. That was uncalled for. Please go on.
What I was going to say is that you might have a different perspective on Joe, and I think a better one.
If I hadn't slept with him?
Yes. By my lights, I can't help it. The joys of sex belong within the state of matrimony. And not only because, dear, that way no children would be born to unwed parents, but because it would give more time to question and think and wonder about the man when you leave him standing at the door and saying goodnight. And also because of my faith.
And mortal sin and damnation?
No, darling. Right and wrong, that's all. I'm not making any accusation. But the fact is that there is a negative aspect for me. And I have to air it a little. And I thank you for helping me do that.
It's all right. Go ahead. You can say it all.
It's nothing that your father hasn't been talking to death for the past few weeks. I mean, the criminal background, and whether Tiso Novotny is what he says he is. I have doubts and fears.
What happened? Did you see Johnny Ryan?
I saw him. I talked to him. Every time we meet, I dislike that man a little more.
Strange.
Cerebral fluid is still leaking, but very slowly.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I packed her ear again. The fluid's no worse. And her vital signs are stable.
Her pupils are dilated. You know, cranial pressure should indicate a constriction of pupils. Would you check that lab report, please?
Okay, and bring up the traction set?
Yes, please. She hasn't regained consciousness yet. She will. There's no hurry.
I had a look at the spinal x-rays. The fifth vertebra is out of position. Probably a week or so, I'd say, without any complications, huh?
A week before what? She's not gonna...
No. I'm talking about traction. She has an injury about here, see? The way we treat that is to keep her immobile, flat on her back. We rig up some weights and some...
Oh, my God.
It's only to relieve pressure on the vertebra, so it'll allow it to move right back into place. It's all right. She won't be in any pain.
She will. She has a concussion, too. But hers is much worse than mine was. I didn't have those bottles. Why is she still unconscious? Please, tell me the truth.
Now, I have. She is expected to recover. And you're expected to calm down, huh? If you want to stay in here, maybe you better go out in the waiting room.
I'll stop. I have to stay here.
The police said that she was drunk? Now, that's impossible. I saw her just a short time ago.
Well, we're waiting to see what the alcohol count was in her blood, but otherwise there's no other indication. Except, of course, for her behavior. I mean, she did walk in front of that car. Something must have affected her mind. Also, her pupils are dilated. Now, why on earth would her pupils be dilated?
Okay, come on. Let's go to my office.
No, I have to stay here. I can sleep in the chair.
Kim, she is going to be safe, absolutely safe. Come on.
She wasn't drunk. This was my fault. You don't understand.
Was that bad? Did you see him alone or was Maeve there?
Alone, at my request. No sign of Mrs. Ryan. The daughter-in-law was there, though.
Delia?
Yeah, I know she's divorced. They have a little boy there. They keep her there in the family. I like that. I like her. She's respectful. Crazy, too. Like a fox.
He wasn't respectful?
No. He has a wolfhound, you know. Fine animal. Much too good for him.
Tizo, what did he say?
That I'm a liar. Well, maybe that's all right, but there's a way to say things and a way not to say them. Mr. Ryan is a rude man. He wouldn't even say the words in the interest of politeness, in the interest of avoiding a real showdown, you know.
He doesn't operate that way.
That's what I mean about the dog. Siobhan should take him to Brooklyn with her.
I can't tell how angry you are.
Doesn't matter. What matters is that I'm in control. Unlike your future father-in-law, I think before I speak. I speak only what's necessary, and I do what's needed to be done. Sometimes that isn't very much.
Listen, he's all talk. He won't stop the wedding. He won't make any waves that I can't handle.
No, that I can't handle. Remember who taught you about the waves?
I was afraid of Tizo, too. I'm not immune to the newspaper articles and the gossip and the armed bodyguards the other night, Mrs. Pavel. You know what really turned me around?
What?
I went to see him yesterday to apologize for Daddy's behavior at the party. And Tizo was so sweet. He gave me a big hug. He said all the right things, and he even volunteered to answer any questions I might have. Any lingering doubts? He volunteered.
And did he say anything new?
No, basically not. But it was the way he spoke, his voice, his manner, Mother. I believe in the person he is, and I'm not an easy person to convince.
No, you certainly are not. Come on, let's get back to this dress. I promised Kevin I'd give him 5 minutes to talk. He's having some problems with relatives.
So I didn't realize I was holding you up.
Oh, you're not, dear. I'm glad we had the chance to talk.
Me too.
Siobhan.
You better say something nice.
Oh, wow. Look at...
Isn't it splendid?
Yeah. Oh, you're beautiful.
Thank you. How do you like that?
Well, the man is honest. What else could he say?
Look, do you have a minute when you're through here?
Yeah, I have all evening. Joe's coming, but we don't have any plans.
Well, I think I'd rather discuss this without Joe for now. It's about some stuff Bob looked into.
Francis.
At the precinct, no. What?
Maybe this isn't the time. I mean, Siobhan and I
No,
just...
go
Sure.
ahead. This is just a fine time. What did Bob find at the precinct?
Well, he spoke to some reliable people about Tizo and Joe.
Doesn't he have one hell of a nerve?
Well, I asked him.
Well, don't you have one hell of a nerve?
No, it's getting too close to the wedding for me to be fiddling around any longer.
Okay, great. Give me all your information. I'm all ears.
Well, Novotny's right. The last time Tizo was brought up in front of a grand jury was in 1964. And he was cleared. And since then, there hasn't been anything. Nothing. At least no formal charges.
64 to 79, that's 15 years. That's how long he is claimed to be retired. So the police back him up.
No. Novotny's name has been linked to more than a dozen current investigations. Now, Bob asked for opinions, and they're only opinions, but they're unanimous. Siobhan, the guy is anything but retired.
Opinions. I love it. Do you have any other helpful hints for the bride?
You decide what's best. But I felt you should be aware of it. This isn't something from gossip columnists or scandal sheet writers, no. It's from top law enforcement pros, and they know what they're talking about. Now, that's the only reason I'm passing it on to you.
Thanks a lot, big brother. Thanks a lot for all your information. It happens to be no more than Jack found out when he did the story on Joe. I'd rather rely on my own experience, which happens to be exactly the opposite. Tizo has been very open with us. He said that he broke some laws once, and he doesn't do that anymore. And Joe never had anything to do with it. So what do they say about Joe?
Mixed reviews.
Frank, Joe has nothing, he's not involved in anything but the fishing business. Since when do you deal in rumors with no proof? That's what threw you out of the Senate. And I'll be damned if I'm gonna let that put Joe out of my life. I am marrying Joe in the eyes of God. No matter how sudden it is, no matter who comes or who doesn't come, and no matter what kind of information you dig up. Oh, if you dare tell Daddy about that, I swear.
I won't go till she wakes up. I have to make sure I didn't...
Didn't what?
I wanted too much. I've always wanted too much. This is all my fault.
Tell me how.
I used to dream about living with her. Birthdays and Christmas, I'd have her instead of her money, and she'd have me. And she'd realize what she was missing, and how sad it was, and how stupid it was.
You know, Kim, it sounds like you're blaming yourself for wanting a mother.
I can't have everything I want. I almost killed her trying to... Please, she's not gonna die, is she?
No. I wouldn't lie to you.
What about damage? The back of her neck. Will she be crippled?
I don't know.
That means she will. My dreams...
Oh, now stop that. Just stop it, and you listen to me. Now pay attention. I don't know means I'm not 100% sure. And I won't be until she wakes up, until at least 24 hours have passed. All the signs indicate that she's going to be as good as new. But I won't guarantee that as much as I want to, because you need to trust me. And I need to trust you.
Yes.
I understand why you're scared. I don't understand why you're guilty.
Because one of the things I used to think about when I was little was that she'd be hurt. And she'd be sorry for...
For leaving you?
Yes. I know it's awful. And I don't understand it, but I think about... I'd have nightmares about an accident. She'd get hit by a car and I'd be driving. And it almost happened.
Have you ever thought of how angry you must be at your mother? Maybe talked about it to your grandmother or a friend or guidance counselor at school?
I'm not angry anymore. I don't have nightmares.
No, but the accident still feels like getting even. Like revenge.
Yeah. I only meant to make her happy. And you and me. I had this idea I'd set the two of you up together.
Yeah. You mentioned that this morning. Don't apologize.
But I tried again. That's why I made those brownies.
Obviously. Ray and I decided it was okay.
No, I tricked you. I thought you'd eat a few brownies and start to have a good time together. Lose your inhibitions. You remember we talked about being inhibited? I never thought she'd stay home and eat the whole thing by herself instead of dinner.
Go on.
I put hashish in those brownies. Not very much if you only ate a couple. But if you ate more than that... You see, she wasn't drunk. She was high, stoned. This is my fault. I know you're both gonna hate me.
Sheesh. Good God.
Do whatever you want. Call the police. I deserve it.
A new original reality series on SoapNet. Mom and Dad are moving in for a financial intervention. It's a matter of life or debt. Bank of Mom and Dad. All new Wednesday at 10, only on SoapNet.